A new report from the Arizona Mirror shows how election denial has become a very lucrative way to raise money from the right wing. It's almost as if they're in a target-rich environment filled with marks. And I don't mean marks like Mark Fincham. Now, the same day that Kari Lake was declared the loser of the Arizona election, because she is a loser, donations actually poured into her campaign when it was over. Now, of course, she had gone all over social media saying, help me raise money. I need money. I'm going to challenge the election. I'm challenging the election. And she has, by the way. But she's raised a ton of money and not spent very much of it on fighting, the results of the election. So let's get into the details, right? According to FEC reports, more than 8,000 people had contributed just on one day $338,388 to her campaign on November 14th. That was after the election. That is more money, by the way, in one day that she had raised on any day during her actual campaign. How is it that you raise more money after you lost than during your entire campaign? So it's very curious. Even curiouser, I don't know if that's a word, it's the fact that less than a quarter of those donations had come from Arizona. Oh, in fact, almost 80% of that money came from outside the state. Hey, if you don't like outside spending in your elections, you might want to look at Kari Lake where she's getting her money. In fact, though the Grand Canyon state led the way with about 1,700 donations, money had arrived from every state, along with Puerto Rico and the District of Columbia. Lake actually took in more money that day, 6 days after the election, than she did any other day of her campaign, which began in mid-2021. It was the first of 5 days after the November 8th election that Lake's campaign would tally more than $100,000 in contributions from across the country, according to the Arizona Mirror's analysis of her campaign finance reports. Now, the failed gubernatorial candidate saw another huge surge in cash a week later as she made the circuit on right-wing media in advance of her soon-to-be-filed lawsuit that sought to overturn the election results. That lawsuit, of course, tossed out because there was no merit. On November 22nd, Lake's campaign also collected just shy of $196,000. Damn. The next day, the day the election challenge was filed, she raked in another $157,000. Rolling in it. Between the day after the election and the end of the year, Lake received more than 57,000 contributions from 37,281 people. All told, the former television news anchor turned megastar raised $2,515,169 after the election. Damn. By the way, that's not all. That figure also doesn't include what Lake had raised after establishing a 501c4 nonprofit called the Save America Fund, created in early December of 2022, which has now been the primary vehicle for Lake to raise money to continue her legal fight against her election loss. Obviously, that election loss not going well for her because she keeps losing. That said, of course, you might think these election challenges, I mean, they're expensive, right? You're going to need a lot of money. You're millions of dollars, right? I mean, well, let's go into the numbers. Let's see. Following the election, Lake's campaign did spend about $3 million. Oh, well, look at that. She brought in 2.5, spent 3. Again, that's not including the 501c4 nonprofit organization. But how much did she spend on her lawsuit? Turns out she spent about $228,000 on it out of $3 million. Wait. Math doesn't add up there. Where did the rest of the money go? Well, according to the AZ Mirror's analysis, thanks to FEC data, we have some ideas. In fact, we have a breakdown of some of this spending. Apparently, $1.52 million in post-election spending went to a group called TAG Strategies, a Virginia-based marketing and communications firm that had received payments nearly every day. The Lake campaign categorized the vast majority of those payments, given as administration other in its financial reports, so we don't really know the details of what they were about. More than $433,000 of that was spent on telemarketing / auto dialers. Now, to be fair, that does make sense. The firm did perform the services for Lake prior to Election Day. In fact, in the 6 weeks before the election, her campaign had paid TAG Strategies nearly $2.2 million for telemarketing / auto dialers. Okay. The firm also charged roughly $1 million for consulting fees. In all, Lake had paid TAG Services more than $4.8 million, nearly $1 in $3 her campaign spent during and after her campaign. Obviously, didn't exactly work out for her. You know what I'm saying? That said, we're talking about money that she had received, to pay TAG during her campaign, which is separate from how much she raised after her campaign was over, which was that $2.5 million. So now, here's the thing. I am kind of curious about the amount of money given to this TAG, right? We see this in other campaigns. I don't know if this is the case here, but I'm just speculating. But I'm wondering if she has any friends or family members in that company. I'm just curious. I don't know. That said, let's go to the spending that's a little bit more personal. Following the election, campaign finance reports showed that Lake had spent a lot of time at a swanky AAA 4-diamond hotel named the Scottsdale Resort at McCormick Ranch. Ah, yes, the Scottsdale Resort at McCormick. Very, very nice. Yes. How much did she spend there? She racked up about 17 charges totaling more than $6,700 at the resort on November 14th. Again, after the election. Now, she had also spent a lot of money leading up to the election, booking rooms. Okay, I get it. You want to throw like a victory party, etc., because you're convinced that you're going to win. That makes more sense. But why afterwards? Why spend $6,700 on November 14th? But that's not all. 3 days later, they spent another $2,900 on December 7th. The campaign also racked up another $2,059 bill at the resort. Very, very fancy. Yes. That's not all. There's more travel as well. About $11,900 went to airline tickets on American and Delta in 17 separate transactions. Campaign also spent more than $5,000 on Hotels.com during the same time, and Lake actually forked out more than $2,600 to stay at the Hilton West Palm Beach in late November when she went to go spend time with former President Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Not only that, but while she was having the pleasure of visiting Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, she actually had to spend $3,300 at the resort, giving Trump $3,300. Hilarious. Not only that, Lake's campaign also spent, incurred 27 different charges to DoorDash for more than $1,300 nearly 2 months after the election. So what we're getting here is that Kari Lake is not only spending her time post-election whining, but also whining and dining off donor money that she claimed was going to be used for election defense. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Now, should we be surprised? Of course not. Look, this is the same kind of crap Donald Trump had done. Raising all this money and then using it to stay at fancy hotels, pay for travel after their campaign is over, and to order takeout. Is it any surprise that she is continuing this grift months after she lost? Oh, I've got new evidence. Oh, I've got this, I've got that. I'm the real governor. No, you're not. You're a loser and a grifter. She loves living off the dime of other people. That's what she would do if she were governor, by the way. Understand that this is a great example of the right-wing grift industrial complex. Kari Lake, Donald Trump, whoever else, taking this money that they were supposed to be using, in order to fight for election integrity. They know it's a scam. They know they're ripping people off. But once again, right wing, full of easy marks. People that believe, oh, yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, voter fraud, yeah. Ooh, this grainy video that I saw on YouTube, oh, yeah. That proves it, proves it. No, it doesn't prove a goddamn thing. What it proves is that you really are desperate in order to have your confirmation bias. That's really what it is. You're so convinced that, that she won the election. I swear to God, if I just send her $5 more, then she'll become governor. Donald Trump would become president if I send him $10 more. They keep telling me that, so I got to keep sending them. No, it's a grift. They're robbing you. And yes, I realize that all politicians, for the most part, do rob us. That's fair. But I think in the case of Trump and Kari Lake, they're doing it a little bit more directly. Instead of just robbing you with your, tax money, they're just taking it, you're just giving it to them. They're asking and you're just giving it to them. Even easier. It's just an even easier grift to maintain. And they're going to continue to run that grift as long as they can. As long as you will allow it.